Yo, what up, YouTube? Welcome to Sinn-Take, man. My name is Sin, coming back with another one, man. Y'all already know the Most High done woke us up this morning. Let's take this opportunity to be great, you know what I'm saying? Just got a good workout in. About to go home and get ready for work, man. But real quick, though, I want y'all to not underestimate your sexual energy, man. That shit is some powerful shit. And as soon as you start to underestimate that, that's when it creep up on you. And then the next thing you know, you relapse. The next thing you know, you're reaching out to some of these old breezies that you used to talk to, you know, trying to jump up in that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, sometimes, man, it's just that energy. That energy is strong as fuck. You know what I mean? And that shit was calling me all last night, and I had to fight that shit off, bro. And it was rough. I felt the shit still getting up this morning. You know what I mean? Getting up this morning, man, that shit was just still in my head, man. My shit was still rock hard. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, listen, you can't underestimate that shit. You gotta know what it is. You gotta be able to identify what's going on and assess that situation. No matter if you gotta get your ass up, go to the gym, jump in a cold shower, think about something else, whatever it is you gotta do. And just understand, man, it's just something powerful that you have inside of you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we could talk about it all day, but you gotta understand it as well. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to feel that power. When you feel an urge, that's that sexual energy. That's that power of that. And sometimes when you overpowered by that energy, that's when you're doing something that you don't have no business doing. That's when you start looking at things that you don't have no business looking at. You know what I mean? And you start to veer off into that red zone. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. You got to understand what it is that you're dealing with. A lot of the times we don't pay no attention to it and not realizing, like, you know, because we so focused, you know what I mean? It's because we so focused and we don't realize what we building up inside. You know what I'm saying? And we building up so much of it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like I said, you know, those cells die within 21 to 70 days. You know what I'm saying? 21 to 70 days, I think I remember that's what it was. But at the end of the day, you got to understand, your body just going to keep recycling that. You know what I mean? It's going to come out through your skin. It's going to come out through your hair and all of that other shit, man. Your body will use that energy. It will take that energy from the dead sperm cells, and then you're going to make new sperm. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand that sexual energy is a motherfucker. Your body is one of the most unique. God took his time with our bodies. When he created humans, he took his time with it. So it's best for you to understand it too. Understand the feelings. You know what I mean? Understand the energy that you have, because that's what led us astray in the first place. We didn't understand our bodies. We didn't understand the energy. We didn't understand what we was doing to ourselves by watching pornography. You know what I mean? And sitting there scrolling on Instagram and social media ain't helping at all either. So it's important to stay on top of that shit, man. Sometimes you just gotta figure things out and know when you getting close to that threshold where, okay, I gotta get up. I can't keep thinking about this shit. I gotta do something. I gotta use this energy. I gotta transmute this shit and do whatever it takes to fight that shit off. You know what I mean? Because we got goals that we trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we got streaks that we trying to uphold. You know what I mean? We got things that we need to do. We got things that we need to really, really put this energy in. So if you start wasting it away, if you start giving in, then guess what? You ain't gonna have no energy to get up and go to the gym. You ain't gonna have no energy to work on some of those projects that you got going. You ain't gonna have no energy to stay up in the late hours. Cause sometimes, man, listen, bro, when you working on something big, you need that energy to stay up later than you usually do. You know what I mean? You do. Some of us is some night owls. I'm a fucking night owl, man. So you know what it is. You know, sometimes you gotta do what it takes, man, to get these goals accomplished. But you gotta understand your body at the same time. You gotta understand what energy you dealing with, so you know how to assess these situations and handle that shit firsthand before these situations handle you. You know what I mean? Before these shits handle you, man. And understand, man. Yo, listen, bro. That shit ain't no joke. That shit ain't no joke, so stay on top of it, bro. We got a lot of shit going. We got big shit popping. You know what I mean? sometimes I know some of y'all motherfuckers be trying to find shortcuts and shit. You know, I read a little bit about edging and shit, and that's not a good idea unless you trying to practice because you know you gonna get some ass. You know what I mean? If you know you practicing that shit, I forgot what the name of it is, but it's when you have sex without releasing, which takes a lot of practice. So you got some people that are practiced by edging. You know what I mean? They're fap, but they won't watch porn, but they are fap until they get to that point and then just stop. You know, and I don't suggest that either. I don't suggest that at all. You know what I mean? I'd rather you just go through the motions of it, you know, and if you release while having sex, then you got to practice. You got to keep practicing. It takes work. You know what I mean? Edging, you know, you got to have strength for that shit too. And sometimes that could pull you back. Sometimes you could, depending on how strong you are, you could start looking at edging as something that can, you know what I mean, it could develop a habit, and then you will start looking at that as an escape as well. So I don't suggest edging either, you know what I mean, because now your brain is tricking you into thinking of another way to, you know, to use that energy. Even though you won't be ejaculating, you still kind of finding a way out. It's still a sort of escapism, which I was reading on some mugs. They be edging for hours. Like, and another boy said he edge all day. Like, how do you what do you do with your time if you just fapping all day to the edge and stopping? You know what I mean? So you doing this all day, that means that boy is dependent on that. And we don't need to be dependent on that. We busy as fuck. What we look like, you know what I'm saying? That kid need to do more with his time at the end of the day. But still though, like I said, sometimes your mind will try to talk you into that shit. And it was funny that I ran across that shit, and I'm like, you know, I did my research on it. It's not necessarily a terrible thing, especially if you're trying to prepare yourself, if you know you're gonna be having sex but don't want to ejaculate and you want to hold your energy in. Okay, that is a practice. But if you don't plan on doing that and you just trying to stay focused, don't do it. Don't edge. Don't do that shit. You know what I mean? Because that shit could turn into a habit too. So listen, man, just stay focused. Bottom line, just stay focused, man. We gonna have our mind gonna try to do a lot of things. It's gonna try to find many shortcuts. That's just how the brain works sometimes. Like I said, your brain could be your best, worst enemy. You know what I mean? Your best, worst enemy. So you got to know how to train that motherfucker too. You got to know what to do in these situations. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself hitting that reset button as soon as you ejaculate. So don't do it, all right? Stay fucking focused. Stay focused, man. Y'all can do it. I just want to tap in with y'all. Let y'all know, man. Listen, y'all not alone. You know what I mean? Y'all not alone. You know what I mean? I still have my battles too. And guess what? I win them all, no matter what. So you got to do the same. You got to have that attitude. You got to have that confidence. You got to have your self-esteem up. You got to know that you're doing this for a bigger cause, a bigger purpose. You know what I mean? And you're going to come out on top no matter what. Understand that you're going to come out on top no matter what. And never fucking quit. You got to never fucking quit. No matter what you go through. Urges don't mean shit. Urges don't mean shit. Almost don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Even all, and like I said, I put in the comments the other day when I was talking to somebody, like, look, man, listen, it ain't no point in fronting about any of these things. Whether you relapse, whether you released, whether you was on some edging type shit, no matter what you did. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we done all been through the shit. You know what I mean? These shits ain't gonna go away, bruh. Sexual energy is powerful as fuck. And sometimes we get down at times. We get down and we just be we always reaching for something. We looking for something to get us out of what we be going through. Because life is hard. Y'all got to understand that as well, too. When you got to take care of your mental health, bro. You got to take care of your mental health. That shit is important. Because we deal with a lot of things on a daily basis, whether it's death, you know what I mean? We deal with stress. We deal with shit at work. We deal with people, bro. You gotta listen, man. You gotta stay on top of everything, and this journey shape you up for that shit. You know what I mean? This journey give you that extra oomph that you need instead of just something that, where most people just look for a way out. Nah, this ain't a way out. This a way to get better while you going through shit. This ain't no way out. This a way to get better while you go through this shit, while you live your life and still be able to uphold who you are. You know what I mean? While you still able to build up your self-confidence, while you still able to hold on to your masculinity and your life force, because you need that to get through. If you just spilling it away every time you feel some type of way, bro, that's why we was empty in the first place. That's why we was going through what we was going through in the first place. That's why we didn't have no focus on what we needed to do in the first place, bro. Because we was too busy fapping, bro. We was too busy releasing, bro. We was some fucking semen demons. Semen demons, man. Some fucking cum zombies, dog. We can't do it. We can't do it. We gotta continue to find ways to fight. We gotta continue to figure out ways to get to our goals and accomplish those and continue to work on that in the process of living, bruh. That's what life is about, man. Who said this shit was easy work? Nobody said that you weren't gonna have to deal with urges. Nobody said that you weren't gonna have to deal with stress. Nobody said that you weren't gonna be exhausted sometimes and want to give up. Nobody said that when you got on this that you weren't gonna still feel these things. You still gonna have to go through it sometimes. But you know what? When you fight through, when you beat that, when you win those battles, guess what? You already know. You get stronger the next day. You get stronger after those weak moments. Those weak moments that you beat, when you win those little battles, those micro successes, you only get stronger from them. You know what I mean? Because we don't run from nothing, bruh. We can't do it. So you got to continue to fight. Understand what you fucking with out here. Understand what you dealing with. And listen, man, keep going, all right? And that's my word, man. My name Sinn, the Sinn-Take. Holla at y'all later, man. Peace. First I'ma get on my grind, then second stop wasting my time on shit less important. If ain't about money, I'm going the other direction. And third, I'ma do what I gotta to eat. Fourth, I'ma sew up the streets. Fifth, I'ma never quit dropping this heat. So as long as I'm breathing, you better get used to me. Sixth, I'ma get